Hello and welcome to another Ben Code Swift programming tutorial in the Ben Code Swift programming series. And today we're going to be continuing our discussion for the third time on table views and continuing our discussion on styling as we talked about in the last video. So if you haven't watched the first two, I highly recommend doing that so that you can create our existing code with it so that you can follow along with the video instead of just watching, because that's going to be the most valuable experience for you learning Swift. Now, we're going to continue with this, and as you remember in the last video, we created the application with the table view where we added our detail view using the dictionary so that we can dynamically change items in the array, and we'll have all of our information here. Now, so basically what we're going to do today is we're going to add an image, right? Let's enhance our table views with images, because why not? So for each row in the table view that we have in front of us, we're going to have some sort of image that represents the item. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to be adding a dictionary, right? And basically, we're going to call it, we're going to copy item information here, and I'm just going to call it item image. And so you can keep all of the the keys and just delete the values for each key, because we're not going to need those values right now. We're going to actually replace them with our own new values. And so this is it. And so the first thing we're going to do is look through Google Images or wherever you prefer to look for images, and just find a URL to an image online. I will specifically say where I get each image is from here for the sake of copyright, but because it's educational and everything like that, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just bear in mind copyright issues if you are going to publish an app. Obviously, you need the rights to any images you use. But I'm not going to be publishing this application anywhere. So, but anyway, go to Google Images and start looking for images for each one. So if I search eggs, obviously I've got millions of results, but I'm going to hit search tools in Google. So let me just actually drag this in the window here. I'm going to go to search tools, and I'm going to change the size to really any size, but hold on, let me find one. And if you look under usage rights, you can actually you can search a specific license so that you know the rights before you get them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit icon here because icons are all squares, right? And so we definitely want a square image just for the sake of this tutorial, because we're going to style them as squares. But obviously you can do whatever you wish. Okay, so our first one is eggs. So we're going to find an image that we want. It doesn't matter what image you use. I do recommend at least 50 by 50 images. I like this one, but it's a little small for our usage. So I'm gonna actually select a 256 by 256 one if I can. And I don't see one I love right now, so I'll use this 128 by 128 image of an egg that I found here, courtesy of psdhunter.com, image 1414, and I'm just going to put that into our dictionary here. Milk will do the same process. Find a nice carton of milk that I like, and I like this one. Looks like fun. Well, it doesn't because there's lines through it. I'll use this one. Courtesy of flaticon.com, image 12153. And so I'm going to put that in right here. For milk, we'll go to flour. Looks good to me. Courtesy of Icon Shock. We'll go to baking soda. Perfect. Courtesy of teethpolish.com, and we're going to use the image of the Arm & Hammer. And we'll go to steak now and cheese. And so this is how you're going to sort of do it image by image, and you're just going to 311, courtesy of scrapwh.com. And obviously there'll be probably the most out of cheese than anyone else. Perfect. Of course, this isn't... Well, you know what? Maybe I can find... I'll use this one. This looks a little bit more like cheddar cheese. Okay. Try and download it, so I'm not going to do that. Cheddar cheese. And I'll use this image, courtesy of Tumblr. Okay. So now we have all of our images in. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to try and pull the images first. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to create an image in our self-wrote index path method. So I'm going to go to the just above the return statement, and I'll create a new image. So I'm going to go var image, or I'll go cell image just to specify is a UI image. And as you can see, you can try for a URL, but you're really not going to get one right now. And so I'm just going to type that in here and let it autofill. Oh, got it. Sorry, that was my bad. And as you can see, you could try and put something in here where you could find an image. And if you had an image stored, which we're not going to talk about yet, you could pull it. But right now we don't have an image, so we're going to create a blank image by just declaring the empty initializer. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to also create a URL. So we're going to go var URL of an NS URL, and we're going to create it from a string. And so we're going to go NS URL. We're going to use a string, and we're going to type in item image, and then what are we going to put in here? The same thing as above, items index path dot row. I don't know why that keeps doing that. Oh, sorry. And yes, we do need to. Perfect. But just keep in mind that because these are optionals, we need to unwrap these using the exclamation points in both. That way, we can always get one. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a piece of NS data, and basically NS data is super flexible, so we're not going to get into that right now. But just create a piece of data. So we're just going to go data equals NS data. We don't need to. I'm not going to declare this specifically, though I usually do. And we're just going to contents of URL, and we'll pass in our URL. And so basically, this NS data is going to hold some sort of image. So now we just need to morph it. So we're going to go cell image equals UI image. And we're going to re-identify it, and we're just going to pass in data and data. And obviously, because it's sorry, let's just add that here. Perfect. Okay, and we just need to let me just pull out the breakpoint. Oops, sorry, one sec. And we're gonna again need to unwrap the optionals here, just so that we're guaranteed to get an image. And so now we've got our image. So now it's a matter of, okay, we have our images, so let's put our images right into the table view. And so there's another piece of the subtitle UI table view style. And by piece, I mean, we've got obviously our cell detail text label, our text label here. And now what we're just going to do is we're going to go cell dot, and we'll look, and you should see an image view here, because that is part of how it works. And so we're going to do cell.image equals cell image. And so that's basically how we set our image view. And so if we launch it now, There we go. All of our images are nicely loaded from the internet and imported. And so that's basically how you fetch an image from an NS URL. So it's a little bit about a URL that we took from a string, and now we've got a really nice looking UI table view with images and specific information about what we want to buy. And again, if I was actually coding this, I wouldn't keep information in the dictionaries. We did it just for practice with dictionaries. Normally, I would create an object called grocery item or a shopping list item or something like that, where we store quantities and we store URLs and we store the item information and so on. But just to practice with dictionaries today, we did it in this method. And so that, that's a basic description of these things. And I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Obviously, it's a a very simplistic tutorial. But if you make sure to watch the next tutorial, we're going to be talking about custom cell styling. So you can really put whatever you want into these cells. And so check back for the next video, UI Table View Information Part 3, where we go into more details on that. So thanks for watching again, and we'll see you next time.